Hello, everyone. My name is Shay Alaba, and I'm with Boss Lady Mogul. I'm a consultant, and I help people to get over their fear of starting and growing their profitable businesses. So, today, I'd like to answer a question that people ask me all the time. How do I get customers? So, I want to talk about this from the perspective of establishing yourself as an authority in your market. So, this assumes that you have figured out what market you're in, and then the most important thing then is to know your customer. So one of the reasons that establishing yourself as an authority in your niche is important and the way to go is because we humans are wired to follow leaders and authority type figures. So why reinvent the wheel or create something else when in fact you can work with our natural inherited thought processes? So essentially, as a leader, let's consider yourself a leader of your tribe from maybe hundreds of years ago, and that you have the responsibility of taking care of your tribes people or your villagers or your kinsfolk. And these kinsfolks, in this context, you can consider your customers. So the goal is to take good care of them, and they take care of you also, and they buy your product. Now, given that, the most important thing to know about getting customers is that you must know your customers. So you must know the people who are in your tribe. It's really important that you know your customer very intimately. So what does that look like? We know about studying your customer, but it's really important to know the demographics of your customer, of course. So you want to know how old your customer is, your ideal customers. Now, when we talk about your ideal customer, one of the most important things you can think of is consider your ideal customer as like an avatar or a character. Kind of you boil them all down to an average person and what that person would be like. So you want to know, of course, you want to know demographics of that person, such as how old is your ideal customer, what gender is your ideal customer, what kind of education does your ideal customer have, and maybe what is their income level. So those are obvious things that you want to know about your customer. The other things that are actually really important, because you want to really get to know who your customer is, because you want to understand what motivates them and and how to take care of them. And ultimately will get your customer to look to you as the authority. So ask yourself questions like, who is your ideal customer? What does your ideal customer do for fun? Like on Saturday, what do they do when they leave, when they get off of work? Does your ideal customer have a job, a 9 to 5 job, or is your ideal customer a freelance worker? Just who is your customer avatar? What does a normal day look like for them? Do they wake up, and go to work? Do they wake up and take their children to school? Do they have children? These are the types of questions you want to know to get some kind of idea of who your ideal customer is. Additionally, you want to know things like about what interests them. What interests do your customers have? Like, do they like the Olympics? Does your ideal customer like to watch a certain TV show or read a certain magazine? Who do they look to as important people? These are important questions to ask yourself when you're trying to figure out who is your ideal customer. Um, Most importantly, one of the most important things about that you would want to know about your customer is what do they want? What do they want and what do they need in life, and what do they want and need, and what will they pay for? Those are things to consider. And what do they want and need, and what will they pay for that your competitors aren't providing to them? And this is where you can come in and be the authority in that particular in your particular market, in that particular market niche. So you would be knowing your customer intimately enough to know what they might be thinking, what they might need, even before some of them even realize what they need, or even before some of them even come to recognize that they have a need or a want that you are already filling, that you can provide for them. So you want to know your customer on that kind of intimate level. And that's how you can take care of them, and that's how you can become the authority in your niche. In many ways, this is part of like being the leader of a village or the leader of a group of people. You want to take care of them. You want to know how to take care of them. And so therefore you must know what they need and want. And in the case of business, you also want to know what will they pay for, because of course you want your business to be profitable. And so if they need and want something enough to pay for it, they can pay you for it because you have already anticipated their needs, because you know who they are intimately. Now that you know very intimately who your customer is, the next thing you want to do is to provide valuable content to your customer. This is really vital in today's marketing, in today's business arena, because there's so much competition out there. In addition to figuring out the niche that your customer avatars are in, providing valuable content is also what will differentiate you from your competitors. This will continue to establish you as the authority in your niche. So by providing content that your customers crave and desire, you essentially are filling a need that they have. And so they will automatically see you as the authority in that niche. You will become the go-to person or company when they would like to fill the need that they have. So like I said before, understanding their needs is very important before you know what content to provide them to fill that need. Now, this content that you provide to them would be free of charge. Customers are pretty skeptical about business people and about sales. Nobody likes to be sold to, but we like to buy. So it's like, it's ultimately the customer's choice if they decide to buy from you. So why not make it easy for them? You give them content that is juicy and valuable, and then they want to buy from you. In addition to the instinctual motivations that we have to follow a leader or to follow an authority figure as humans, we also have wired into us essentially a rule of reciprocity. And this is actually because we're social creatures and relationships are really important to us humans. So we use this idea of reciprocity when we're building relationships. And as a business owner, you want to build a strong relationship, a trustworthy relationship with your potential customers and clients. And you do this by giving them valuable content. So provide to them content free of charge and filling the need that they have, and they will see you as the authority and follow you, and then also want to buy whatever you're selling. They'll want to buy what you're selling because they realize that what you're selling fulfills a very important need that they have, and also you're providing value to them. So you provide them more value than even what they pay for. And then you become the person who they trust and the go-to person that they will always buy from. The rule of reciprocity is just that if somebody gives you something, then you will want to give them something in return. And when we're using this idea, we're consciously using this idea to build relationships in business, build relationships with your customer, build relationships with your potential clients. But when you provide to them something that's juicy that they need, they will provide to you loyalty and in turn buy your services and products. So when you're providing value to your customer, in our information age, what we're doing is essentially educating the customer. So we want to educate your customer or your client, and that is the valuable information, the valuable services that we are providing to them. Sometimes the customer or client knows that they have this need or desire and they're looking to fulfill it. That's a pretty hot customer. They know they have a need and they're actively looking to buy something that's going to fulfill this need. And now those people are ready to buy, and those people would be immediate customers. But many times you're going to have to educate customers or potential customers and potential clients, because some of them may recognize that they have the need or the desire that you are feeling, that you fulfill for them, but they're not necessarily hot to buy. As you educate and provide value added content, then you warm those customers up. There's another customer that may not be aware yet that they have the needs and desires that you can fill for them. So these customers will also need further education. Now, I would say that these customers or potential clients are colder or cooler clients. So as you provide to them valuable content, they warm up and they begin to recognize that indeed they have certain needs and desires that you can fulfill. And if you are providing valuable, juicy content, then they realize that you're the one who's taught them about their need and how to fulfill their need, and they're going to come to you to fulfill that need. So they will be clients in the long term or customers in the long term after you've educated them. In this way, people who don't even know that they might be your potential client become your potential client over time, because they begin to recognize and realize that they do indeed have a desire or need, and that you can fill the need. So here is a schematic of a customer buying process, and essentially it touches on the different customers that you, or potential customers and clients that you will encounter. So for example, here you've got the first one is the problem recognition. And as I said previously, some potential clients may not even realize that they have the problem, but they still are your ideal customer, and you recognize that because you know very clearly and intimately who your customer is. After they realize that they have a problem, then they begin to search for information. Those customers, potential clients, are your warmer customers or clients, or even the hot customers and clients. They recognize they have a problem and they're looking for a solution either passively or actively. And in that process, they are also evaluating alternatives. So for example, they're looking at your competition and they're evaluating whether their needs are going to be met by buying which services or which goods. So in this way, you here have solved this problem of evaluation of alternatives, because you know very well and intimately who your customer is and what their needs are, and which needs are not being met by the competition. Now you've been adding value, and these customers know, or potential clients know, that you are the go-to person, and then they will seek you out to purchase your product or be your client. And this is the ideal situation, in that you have clients and customers who seek you out, and you don't actually have to do any cold calling, because you've nurtured this customer, your customer avatar, all the way from education into purchase. And when you've successfully given your customer or client the services and goods that they need, and they exceed their expectations because you've done a very good job of identifying who they are, their needs, and then delivering to them a product or a service that is filled with value, now you have a happy customer, and they will write you good reviews. And a happy customer is great, because word of mouth is a very good way to advertise. And when people are referred to a product or a service, or by a friend or somebody who's happy, they automatically have a positive disposition towards your service or your good. Additionally, Customers and clients who are happy with your service will become repeat customers and clients. And this is ideal if you are scaling your business. So if you have other products that you'd like to sell, or if you have higher ticket services to sell. Maybe you're a consultant like myself and you have higher ticket services to sell. This is how you get customers. You identify who your ideal customer is. You know them very well and intimately. You learn all about them. And then you also really understand deeply their needs and what they will pay for. And then you fill that need with added content and you generously give it to them. And then you become the authority in your market, and your client will actually seek you out. Your customers will seek you out. And then your customers and clients will seek you out and want to buy your services and product. You know them very well, and you give them content and you give them services and goods that are valuable and fill their needs. So I hope that helps you with answering that question, understanding the motivations and theories behind how to get customers. If you have any questions that you'd like answered, or please feel free to contact me. You can email me at shayalaba@bossladymogul.com. You can message me in the comments. I read them and I look forward to hearing about all of your success stories. Thank you very much for listening.